Alright, ladies and gentlemen, after missing a race, we are back for the next event of the Ferrari Challenge. We're here at race 4, or for race 4, at Circuit of Barcelona, which is actually one of my favorite tracks, but I wouldn't fathom doing it in these cars. Looks like Liam O'Neill here was the first person to exit the pit lane, so can mostly keep the camera on him as we start the qualifying session. That's sort of an update on what happened in the previous race, which was at Spa. Well, a massive, or not massive, but a pretty big disconnect happened like partway through the event, and removed both Liam and AJ from the race, meaning that Donald Stern got a pretty, well, easy victory from what I heard anyway. Meaning that Donald Stern is currently the points leader going into this race, which is, I think, the halfway mark of the season. He won the first round in Imola, but has the second round at Imola. No, he won the first round at Monza. I'm dumb. Yeah, he won the first race at Monza, but he got wrecked numerous times at Imola. I think he was one of the ones that got disconnected in the race last week at Spa. So he's gonna be looking for another Paramount performance to, kind of remain relevant in the championship here. Some lap times are coming in, but they're completely false, since some cars' pit stops or pit garage areas basically are going to be behind the start finish. And so they start the lap timer when you pass the start finish line, even if it's literally on the pit limiter. Now in F1, I have been trying to use UI disabled and trackside cameras more often, but I'm not even going to waste my time on this game because, well, A, sometimes the trackside cameras are weird, as if they're not on F1. I mean, half the time they're giving you these little onboard, like, action shots of, like, the suspension moving on the front of the car, which doesn't really help you look at the racing at all. But you can't take the UI away on this game, so no point. And the first real lap of the session is Liam's 1 minute 46.1. Zachary DeWoodowicz was right behind him and only ran about a half a second off of that. And then Jackson Tate ran a 48.5. And then it was Matthew Stotts, the 47.8, so we've got a pretty gargantuan field spread at this moment. Travis van Dusendorp is going to roll around, and he's going to set a 49.7. Donald Stern ran a 47.6. I'm sure Liam and Zachary have been practicing, so that's probably the difference maker right now, but I would probably expect that as cars like Stotts and Stern get a little more track time in this qualifying session, that they will get a little bit closer to the mark. Around the final corner comes Gabe Kazilla, and he will set a lap time of 49.67. It's so weird having the GT starting grid, or starting line. Connor Hannick has found some grass. And there goes AJ Knickel with the 46.67, sneaking onto the front row by a mere 0.02 of a second. And Liam sets the bar even higher. He manages a 45.8. I just noticed there's the and the down here. One of them is Jonathan Parker, who has been in F1 this whole time, but this is his debut on Project Cars. So, interested to see what he can manage, but he may want to get on the track pretty soon here. Unless he really just wants to start in the back. Same applies to Keenan Kimber, who's also not left the pit lane. Connor Hannick spun on this lap, so his lap time will not really be representative of anything. David Hudson making a unique line through the chicane. And his lap time will be slower than his previous one. AJ completes his second fine lap, and he goes right by Liam's lap time with a 45.2. Donald Stern exits to the final corner as somebody's crossing the line. Donald has found a bit of sand. So this lap is a throwaway, and the next one too probably, because he's not gonna have a lot of speed as he crosses the line. You'll have a shot right at the end of the session though to make one last hot lap. Oh, then we have the, and that. Great. Jonathan Parker has disconnected. And he took Connor Hannick with him, so I think those two will not be able to rejoin in time, so and there goes everything I was saying about, oh, Jonathan Parker's debuting. Yeah, the game says no. You could almost call that on the racing line there. I'm not really sure, but at any rate, I mean, we'll see. Maybe it didn't even affect Liam's lap time. Who knows? Gets to the final chicane, and his next challenge will be a 45.5, so it's closer, but still not pole. And really, nobody else has been able to get near those two. Donald Stern comes back around for his next lap, and this lap, yeah, that's not going to be an improvement because he didn't have any speed going down the main straightaway. Does Zachary DeWoodowicz have any response for that front row? Not even close. You can see Connor Hannick's trying to get into the lobby, but it just isn't working because the session times run out. Matthew Stotts improves marginally, and the session timer has expired, so there will be 5 cars left to run a lap. trying to figure out which one is leading them. And it's Gabe Cazola, who just found a little bit of sand. And his last offering at qualifying will be 48 flat. He'll go up quite a few spots from that. Up he is. These two, Connor Setchell and DJ Hudson, are done already. AJ Knickel, currently the pole sitter, crosses the line. No improvement. Liam O'Neill also didn't improve on his lap. Donald Stern didn't on his either. So, yeah, I think everybody's done. We're just waiting for the game to acknowledge that. I'm still curious as to why Keenan Kimber never elected to leave the pit lane. He doesn't have a qualifying penalty, because I don't think there were any penalties handed out in Spa, so... Alright, so you have AJ Knickel on pole, followed by Liam O'Neill, Zachary DeWodowicz, Donald Stern, Matthew Stotts, Jared Bogley, who I didn't even talk about at all in the qualifying session, but I think this is his debut of the season. Gabe Cazola, Jackson Tate, Connor Setchell, Travis Van Dusendorp with a less than ideal qualifying session for a previous race winner, as he won at Imola, I'm pretty sure. Or am I being dumb there? I don't know. DJ / Dylan Hudson, Kyler Boggs, who joined very late, and I'm surprised he even got in the session before, like, the time, like, the window of opportunity passed. And Keenan Kimber rounds out the grid, as he never attempted to set a qualifying lap. Possibility that there was, some kind of, like, thing I forgot, I guess some sort of QP I didn't remember, but I don't think so. Oh, and one of the Gran Turismo drivers is in the chat. Yeah, I don't commentate that one. I'm too busy racing. But I am the one that does the highlight videos for them, so. And the lights are green and we are away from Catalunya. Everyone's spreading out a little bit as they head down towards turn 1. Here's where I would use trackside cam for a little bit. Everybody seems to have survived the first corner. Seems to have. Oh, never mind, we got red car way off there. Connor Setchell with a bit of damage. I mean, there had to be one casualty, right? Matthew Stotts did not have a good start at all. Oh my god! I think Jared Bogley just flipped coming out of turn 3. That's turn 4. I can't numbers. I don't know if that was reported to anybody else or what. Okay, yeah, it was. So we have a caution. If the crowd is applauding directly into my eardrums. Alright, so we have our first safety car of the ARC Ferrari Challenge season. We can safely put it back on chase cam right now. If I can figure out where the thing is. There we go. Yeah, I corrected myself. It just... I would have known if it were on chase cam. Or if I had the map on screen. Because it turned it off on me for whatever reason. Yeah, it took 4 races to get a safety car. God forbid that would be an accomplishment in NASCAR, but somebody's already retired themselves from the race. It's Jackson Tate. There's the somebody. We have multiple cars pitting. I assume that's for damage. I don't remember seeing Keenan Kimber getting any crashes. Connor Suchel and definitely Jared Bogley, yeah, I can see why they're pitting. So now I just get to just kind of awkwardly wait until the safety car is over. And that's when interesting things will start happening again. Unless we get somebody running into somebody else under it, which is always possible, but you never really want to see that, because sometimes that just makes the safety car period even longer. Hopefully, if Connor Suchel light a fire under his rear end, he can get up to the field in time and we can get restarted this lap, but based on where he is, I don't think that's going to happen. I think everybody else will get there in time, but unless the field really slows it down here, I don't think Connor Suchel's going to get there in time, and as a result, we're not going to be green this lap. Oh, never mind. The other cars didn't even get here in time. So yeah, it will not be green out of this corner. So restart rules basically are in anything that isn't NASCAR. It's just as soon as you are starting to exit the final corner, you can floor it. Oh, I guess we are green. Okay then, I guess we're just going up the line. Well, I can only imagine we're gonna have some people get caught off guard by that, because it certainly threw me off. Cover bogs missing the mark a little bit. Uh-oh. Oof. I didn't even see who that was. That was Liam O'Neill, who I think he must have hooked a curb or something, but that's a lot of damage to that title contender's car. It's down to the points leader, Donald Stern, to hunt down AJ Knickel and hope to win a third race in a row. You know, Travis was never a race winner. I was thinking of NASCAR. Donald Stern, I don't know what the idea there was. Matthew Stotts is having a personal meet and greet with Van Dusendorp's rear wing. Gabe Gazzola about to meet Donald Stern's diffuser there if he broke any later. Keenan Kimber running over the nameplate of the track, and Jared trying to force it on his outside following that error, but that's very difficult to do. Having said that, somebody might do it later just to prove me wrong. Bit of a cut from Keenan Kimber there. Zachary Dawidowic's not had the first few laps that he was looking for either, I can almost guarantee you. Despite his damage, Liam O'Neill is still... he's still around the pack. He's not in it, but he's not far from it. He's already gotten back ahead of DJ Hudson. Alan Stern goes a bit wide. Kazola, just about the only person that made turn 4 correctly out of the top 3. Now we got, Stotts apparently overtook Van Nissendorp in the hairpin, and I just didn't catch it. Can Travis try to take that back? Oh, he can if Matthew Stotts spins off the track and ends up in the sand trap. That'll make it pretty easy to do. Well, alright, you've done the first half of your username, Stotts. Now do the second half for me, will you? It's another position for Liam O'Neill. Despite spinning on the first corner of the restart, he's back into a points position, so... Donald Stern has recently overtaken AJ Kinnickle. Will AJ have a chance to sort of undo that as we head down the main straightaway? I'm not sure. AJ had to let off through the final corner to not run over Donald Stern. But Slipstream, I think, is going to afford him a slight chance at it. 170 miles an hour as we approach the first corner. They both completely missed the mark. AJ will take the lead back because Donald wasn't even on the road by the apex. Cazzola will end up being the beneficiary because he's the one holding the apex this year. So Gabe Cazzola will steal the lead away following that conflict. AJ trying to hang on the outside, but as I just mentioned, doing that is very hard in anything that's not a Formula car. He still kind of did it though. He really got it inside, and now AJ Kinnickle will take the lead back once again. This is really the only place to even have the camera right now. There's nothing else going on the track except for this battle for the lead, so... Everybody else beyond 4th is pretty evenly spread out. Donald Stern having a look at Gabe Cazzola for 2nd place. Into the hairpin, that's about as easy as you'd like it there. Zachary Dawidowicz has seems to have found his rhythm. He is getting ever closer to Jared Bogley. Good run through the chicane can probably put him in a position to take 6th place or 5th place away. Speaking of takeaway, I think Donald may have just gone wide in the last corner. Nope, Gabe just pushed it too hard as Donald takes 2nd back and Gabe finds a little bit of sand in his shoes. After a mistake from Keenan Kimber, Kyler Boggs has a pretty easy opportunity to steal 7th place. Keenan with very little chance to resist. Bogley very wide in turn 4. It's a very common error I've seen so far this evening. This evening, he says. It's clearly midday on the track, but you know what I mean. I'm Central Time Zone, so it's like 6:30 here. Anyway, I digress. We're back to looking at the leaders here. Donald Stern getting close-ish to the leader, but It's a while coming before we see anything major happen here. He's... excuse me. He's utterly sent it into turn 1. That's not going to gain him much time. Trying to kind of watch this area because they are kind of close together, and I don't want to end up missing a pass completely. You would be hard pressed to find it here, but you never know. Such as this, Keenan Kimber versus Liam O'Neill through the chicane. Both looking for their next shot at Bogley. Liam much faster through the last corner, and Keenan finding some sand. But Matthew Stotts has a huge run because he didn't have to let off and having no damage to his car. Yeah, you could. Therein lies the disadvantage that Liam has found himself at by this point. We got two wide action. We have Zawodowicz attempting to finally take fifth away, but he's missed the braking zone for turn 4, and Jared Bogley is going to take that back. But Zachary minimized his losses, so he's still within striking distance, maybe into the hairpin. Maybe not into the hairpin. I do like these little exclamation marks that show up when a car is nearing an overtake. It makes it a lot easier for me to keep track of this stuff. Now Bogley very wide through, that'd be turn 12. Let's put Zachary right there again. Surprisingly not a worse chicane there. But Zawodowicz with more than enough momentum to try and take the spot away. I see Jared on the brakes there. And also conservatively braking. I think he's just giving that up. Slowing himself down so he can get better corners and try and just take advantage of if Zachary makes a mistake again, which, I mean, now that he's ahead of you, it's less likely, so... Donald Stern just permanently being kept at about a second away. Not much more, not much less. Although, if what I've heard is any indication, apparently in this race, you will have to manage your tires. Catalunya is kind of a high degradation circuit, with corners like 3, 4, 9, and the final corner on offer. And although the camera's on him, Donald Stern's getting a little bit closer to AJ Knickel. About 6/10 removed as they head down the main straightaway again. He's also running scorching lap times. The 46.2 presented just there. But AJ's philosophy on turns 1 and 2 is considerably faster, so he's just on a bit of time. Zachary did in fact make a mistake, and that allowed Jared to get quite a ways up the road. And he's now fallen back into the clutches of Matthew Stotts. I think he could have tried to move if he wanted to, but turn 4 is a risky place to pass. And Donald Stern is right where he needs to be. But AJ just gets just enough of an exit out of turn 9 to evade any immediate threat, but he misses the hairpin. So Donald is going to get too wide with him as they go into the horseshoe. Is that what they call this? I don't remember. It's always a tall order to hold the outside there, but Stern's managing it. They're going to go too wide into the chicane now, I think. Nope. AJ broke aggressively, and he will take the lead back. Meanwhile, I think a slip up from Jared took place, so now it's a 3-car battle for 5th place. Poor exit from the chicane, I think, leaves Matthew Stotts out of this discussion. And I don't know how powerful the slipstream is, but I don't think it's going to cover that distance. Yeah, no. Slipstream honestly not doing a lot here. It's worth like 4 or 5 miles an hour. Donald really pushing his car there. Just about found a bit of grass coming out of turn 5. Well, that's not convenient. Luckily, I think after the massive disconnect that happened last week, AJ was prepared, and I had like 2 other invites there to use, so... Yeah, it's not exactly a major loss for me. It's more so if anybody got taken with me. That's a problem. Which... I can't actually say who did what, who caused what. Now these two are at about the same distance. Now Zachary made the mistake. He's now fallen into the clutches of Liam O'Neill. I can't quite really pick out if anybody else got DC'd or not. I feel like somebody did, and I just don't remember who they are. I'm really not sure what Connor Setchel's doing here. Oh my Christ. What is this game doing, man? I thought AJ was supposed to have gotten a better LAN cable, that's the word. So either it's worse or this isn't his fault. That was weird. Alright, well, I think if I disconnect again, to avoid the risk of taking anybody else with me, which seems to have not happened. Battle for the lead still unchanged in the 3 minutes I've been trying to, you know, stay connected to the frickin' game. I don't like that the gaps are doing that. Oh, this is interesting. So, a damaged Travis Van Oostendorp and a damaged Gabe Kazola are fighting off Matthew Stotts. Oh, apparently my internet just really is dying right now. It's telling me that in the corner. Could this have waited like 6 more minutes? Come on. Okay, 7. I should probably get back to the stuff I've set for the 3rd time now. So I can actually tell what's going on. My rhythm for commentating is like all screwed up. Oh! We have Van Oostendorp just about running Gabe Kazola off the road. I don't need to be in a rhythm to mention that part. Donald Stern's still really close to AJ, but you just can't find... You can't find that critical moment and make it stick. Very late maneuver to come out breaking down from Travis. It's allowed Kazola to get back around Gabe Kazola to get back around Matthew Stotts. Gabe Crayola. There we go. Ugh. Okay, so apparently I don't think Connor Central was ever parked there at all. I think that was just the server or my internet or something. Just reacting to my internet, just being like, haha, see you later. Let's turn the speedometer up. Oh, Gabe Kazola giving Travis the short track special. And Matthew Stotts has looped it in turn 2, and he'll be out of that fight. I don't think he'll be in much of a fight at all anymore. He might be contending with Liam O'Neill, the incredibly damaged Liam O'Neill, who is still not running last despite all of the damage. Travis and Gabe still pretty much under a blanket though. Currently, this Battle for First and Battle for Third are the only places to really have the camera right now. As we head across the start-finish line one more time, I think it'll be very close, but we'll just have 2 more laps to go. Donald, that's not where the car belongs. Yeah, so we've reached 2 laps to go. We're gonna pretty much finish the race right as the timer hits 0. And following that mistake, I think the win's all but confirmed for AJ, so unless AJ makes a mistake, it's more or less just down to how do these two, you know, split up. And now Matthew Stotts has tracked Zachary down, or maybe Zachary made a mistake again, I'm not sure. And he's looking to take 6th away at the very least, but that's quite a task, because his car is pretty damaged from hitting the wall, but Zachary just... I don't know what that was, but it wasn't very good. So, okay, we'll just move back to the battle for 3rd between Van Oostendorp and Cazzola. Very interesting thing happened too as I attempted to rejoin this lobby. It showed me a... Instead of, like, you know, where it shows like the normal, like, Project Cars art to, like, you know, denote what game it's on, it showed me a relevant broadcast from Gabe Cazzola, who is apparently also streaming this race on Twitch or something like that. And as I highlighted the invite, it actually showed me a brief little window of that stream in the corner, and I was just like, what the heck? Well, we're both full of mistakes here. I think the tire wear beginning to settle in, as was previously stated. I would be experiencing that. We're just squeezing Gabe Cazzola like a kitchen sponge. Cazzola not having that and just about rear ends Travis. I'm surprised they didn't make contact. If they did, I'm surprised that wasn't worse. Travis moving all over the place to try and break that slipstream. I don't really think it matters too much, because I think both cars are pretty damaged to the point where slipstream really isn't going to be making much of a difference. Gabe is using the entire track. He paid for the whole track, he's going to use the whole track. Now, Matthew Stotts has been overtaken by Dwidowicz again, so he's going to have to fight to take that 6th place back again. Just a back and forth of repeated mistakes, I think, between these two is really what's going on. I'm going to go too wide into the little weird chicane. Blue flag, Sportsman 143. I don't think so. Oh. Stott just turned down into Dwidowicz and just about spun him. Meanwhile, as he leaves the final corner, AJ Knickel is going to be the 3rd unique winner as he wins at Barcelona. Enough fighting between these two has allowed Jared Bogley to reach the battle last second. Van Oostendorp and Cazzola banging fenders repeatedly, like this is a touring car race. Well, that was something. And eventually Matthew Stotts did take 6th away. If the race had gone on much longer, I think Liam O'Neill would have had a chance to steal both those places. And now we have the inevitable madness that happens after races, even though we're supposed to be on the pit limiter for everybody except for the winner. But I guess I think the winner is the only one on the pit limiter. Nah, that's not true, but man, it looked like it. Apparently AJ's total race time was actually less than half an hour. How does that work? Okay. But yeah, so that'll do it for this Circuit de Barcelona race. According to the game, apparently Barcelona is now in the United Kingdom. I don't think so. Next stream, assuming I'm awake for it, should be... I'll be here to bring you coverage of the next ARC Formula 1 race, which I think is also the Spanish Grand Prix at the same track, I think. Unless round 3 is... Round 3 should be China, isn't it? I don't know. Well, we'll find out in like 4 days. Or, let's be honest, everybody watching is already in the league. They can just go in the Discord server and look it up themselves. That'll be enough. That'll be it for today from me. So until Saturday, farewell.